Hello students, welcome to my channel. Today I will continue the previous chapter haloalkanes and haloarenes, and this is my fourth lecture. In this lecture I will continue the methods of preparation of haloalkanes and haloarenes. Now the methods of preparation of haloalkanes and haloarenes are from alcohol, from hydrocarbon, Sandmeyer reaction and halogen exchange reaction, but in my last lecture I have discussed the preparation from alcohol. So today I will discuss the preparation of alkyl halides and haloarenes from hydrocarbon. So from hydrocarbon we get the alkyl halides or aromatic halogen compounds in three different ways. So first, by free radical mechanism we get mixture of different alkyl halides from hydrocarbon. Then by electrophilic substitution of hydrocarbon, aromatic hydrocarbon, we get the aryl halides. Again, if we take alkene hydrocarbons, then we get two types of alkyl halides. If we put hydrogen halide to alkene, we get monohaloalkanes, and if we put halogen to alkene, then we get dihaloalkanes. Now from free radical mechanism we get different types of alkyl halides. Before that we should know the free radical mechanism. The free radicals are those species which contain an unpaired electron, and these are very reacting intermediates which are used in a reaction. So generally here we will take the halogen free radicals since we are going to prepare the alkyl halides. So free radical mechanism consists of three steps: initiation step, propagation step and the termination step. So at the initiation step, here we have taken the chlorine molecule, which is very photosensitive to light. So in presence of UV light or sunlight or in presence of heat, this chlorine bond will undergo homolytic bond cleavage. Homolytic bond cleavage means the bond between the two atoms will undergo cleavage, but the electron pair will be equally divided between the two atoms. So this chlorine bond will be broken, and in presence of light, and one electron go to one chlorine atom and the other electron go to the other chlorine atom, and we will get the two chlorine free radicals. So at the initiation step the chlorine free radicals are produced. These are the initiator of the reactions. Now here I have taken the methane molecule which will react with the chlorine molecule. The chlorine molecule is now converted into the chlorine free radical. This chlorine free radical will react with methane molecule in the propagation step. So in this propagation step, the carbon hydrogen bond of methane molecule will again undergo homolytic bond cleavage, and the hydrogen free radical will combine with the chlorine free radical to produce HCl, and we will get the methyl free radical having one unpaired electron. This methyl free radical will continue the next step. That means in the propagation step the two free radicals will propagate the chain reaction, the methyl radical and the chlorine free radical, but the chlorine free radical is produced at the initiation step. Now the chlorine bond of the chlorine molecule again will undergo homolytic bond cleavage, and the chlorine free radical will react with the methyl free radical, and it will produce chloromethane. That means one bond is formed between the chlorine and the methane molecule. methyl radical and we will get the chloromethane, and chlorine free radical is again regenerated. So in this way the propagation in the propagation step the chain will continue till the production of radical is continued. So that means this without the free radical the propagation step is not possible. So at the last, when the methyl free radical or the chlorine free radical are used to produce the product, then at the last only the free radicals will be left and we get the termination step. So in our reaction the free radicals left behind is methyl free radical and the chlorine free radical. So these free radicals will combine in different way. First, the methyl free radical will react with the chlorine free radical and we get the chloromethane molecule. Then chlorine free radical and another chlorine free radical will combine to form the chlorine molecule, and then methyl free radical and a methyl free radical will combine to form ethane molecule. So in this way there are three ways to combine the free radicals. In the first way we get the chloromethane, in the second way we get the chlorine molecule, and in the third way we get the ethane molecule. But among these, chlorine and the ethane molecule are the minor products, because the chlorine and ethane molecules are formed by the addition of the same type of free radicals, and these free radicals are already used so many times in the propagation step. So by the addition of methane and chlorine we get chloromethane as the major product. So this free radical mechanism is used to produce the alkyl halides from hydrocarbon. Here we have taken butane molecule, and from butane we get different types of alkyl halide. First, chlorine is added to butane, and in this reaction carbon hydrogen bond of butane will undergo homolytic bond cleavage, and one electron will go to the carbon, other electron will go to the hydrogen, and this hydrogen free radical will combine with the chlorine free radical, and N-butyl radical is formed, where one unpaired electron is present at the carbon 1 and HCl is formed. Now this is the unpaired electron. So now if we add again chlorine to butane molecule, there is another way to produce alkyl halide. So here the CH bond at the carbon 2 again undergo homolytic bond cleavage, and one electron will go to the carbon, and with the other electron hydrogen free radical will combine with the chlorine free radical and produce hydrogen chloride and secondary butyl radical, where an unpaired electron is present at the carbon 2. So in the next step what happens, this N-butyl radical and secondary butyl radical will react with the chlorine molecule to produce the required products. So this is the propagation step. At the initiation step, from the chlorine molecule we get the chlorine free radical. Now at the propagation step the reaction will be continued till the end of the free radicals. So here N-butyl radical will combine with the chlorine molecule to produce 1-chlorobutane. This is N-butyl radical having one unpaired electron at the carbon 1, which will react with the chlorine free radical produced from chlorine, and it will give 1-chlorobutane, where chlorine is added to carbon 1 and chlorine free radical is generated. So from the secondary butyl radical, there is one unpaired electron at the carbon 2 which will react with the chlorine free radical produced from chlorine molecule and it will create 2-chlorobutane, where chlorine will be added at the carbon 2 and chlorine free radical is again generated. Here you can see in both the reaction you see the chlorine free radical is again generated. This chlorine free radical again react with the butane as I have shown, and again 1-chlorobutane and 2-chlorobutane is produced. So in this way the propagation step will be continued till there is the free radical is present. So at the termination step we get the major product as the 1-chlorobutane and the 2-chlorobutane. So thus at the termination step from butane we get 1-chlorobutane and 2-chlorobutane, that is the mixture of the alkyl halide is produced when alkane is halogenated with free radical mechanism. So next we will go to the electrophilic aromatic substitution. For that we should know how the aromatic electrophilic substitution occurs. For that here we have taken toluene. In toluene this is methyl group having the plus I effect, so the pi bond in the benzene ring is shifted to the carbon as the lone pair of the electron at the ortho position. So this is called orientation influence of the methyl group due to plus I effect. So the same effect, that means the electron density at the benzene ring can be increased at the ortho and the para position by another effect, that is hyperconjugation effect. So we will see this effect. Here I have taken toluene. In this toluene this CH bond will be shifted to the carbon-carbon bond as the double bond, and the pi bond at the benzene ring will be shifted as the electron pair on the carbon atom. But this pi bond, though it is shifted to the carbon atom, electron pair will not be located at the carbon atom. Here you see the electron pair is at the ortho position and the hydrogen atom is getting positively charged since the carbon hydrogen bond is shifted to the carbon-carbon double bond. So this lone pair of electron will be delocalized. That means that it will move over the benzene ring since there is alternate single bond double bond is present. So the electron pair is at the ortho position is now delocalized. In this way you see this lone pair of electron become the pi bond and the pi bond becomes the lone pair of electron in the next structure, and these structures are separated by the double-headed arrow. So in this structure you see lone pair of electron is at the para position, and again it will move, it will delocalize. The lone pair of electron become the pi bond and the pi bond become the lone pair of electron on the carbon atom, and we will get this structure. Here you see the lone pair of electron is at the ortho position. So in this way the pi bond is delocalized, or you can say the lone pair of electron is delocalized over the benzene ring. This effect is also known as resonance effect, and hyperconjugation is also a type of resonance. This is called no bond resonance, and this effect is called orientation influence of the methyl group due to hyperconjugation. So now you can see that why this aromatic compound will undergo the electrophilic aromatic substitution. So if there is a Plaza effect group is present, then what happens? The electron density increases at the ortho and the para position in this way. So this is the para position and this is the ortho position. So there are two ortho position in a benzene ring, both are identical, and there is one para position. Para positions means 1,4 positions. This para position is with respect to the methyl group 1,4 and ortho position is with respect to methyl group 1,2 position. Now again we can conclude like this, that due to Plaza effect and hyperconjugation effect, electron density increases at the ortho position and the para position of the benzene ring, so that the electrophile can easily attack at the ortho and the para position. Now we will see the electrophilic aromatic substitution reaction in case of toluene. This toluene reacts with chlorine in presence of ferric chloride and produce orthochlorotoluene and parachlorotoluene, and this reaction takes place in dark. Here the methyl group has the Plaza effect, that means electron donating group. So as a result the electron density increases at the ortho and the para position. Now chlorine molecule will provide chlorine electrophile, and the hydrogen atom at the ortho position will be substituted by chlorine and we will get orthochlorotoluene. Similarly, chlorine molecule will provide chlorine electrophile and that will attack at the para position due to the more electron density, and the hydrogen atom at the para position is substituted by chlorine. We will get the parachlorotoluene. This reaction takes place in dark. Now what happens if the reaction takes place in presence of light? Again here we have taken toluene in presence of bromine. It will follow the free radical mechanism and we will get benzyl bromide and hydrogen bromide. So here bromine will attack the methyl group instead of attacking the benzene ring. So we will get benzyl bromide. So this reaction takes place in presence of light, and this reaction is possible for chlorine and bromine. Now here iodination of toluene cannot be done in the same way, because hydrogen iodide formed in this reaction is a powerful reducing agent due to low bond ion dissociation enthalpy, and the reaction may be reversed. And fluorination of benzene is not very successful because the reaction is extremely violent due to the reactive nature of fluorine and cannot be easily controlled. Now this is aryl hydrogen, which bond is about 100 kilojoule per mole stronger than the benzyl hydrogen. So it is difficult to break this aryl hydrogen for bromine free radical, which is produced from bromine molecule in presence of light. That is why instead of attacking the benzene ring in presence of light, bromine free radical attack the benzyl hydrogen atom, and it will substitute benzyl hydrogen and we will get the benzyl bromide. So now the addition of hydrogen halide to alkene will lead to the formation of the alkyl halide. Now I have taken this reaction where I have taken an unsymmetrical alkene. this is 2-methylpropene. This is unsymmetrical alkene because on the both sides of the double bond there are different types of groups. So this 2-methylpropene will react with HCl. This HCl has one is positive part, other one is negative part, because there is electronegativity difference between hydrogen and chlorine. Now our first step is the formation of the carbocation, and in the next step the nucleophile, here the nucleophile is chloride will attack. Now see the formation of the carbocation. So first of all we have numbered the carbon chain carrying the double bond in 2-methylpropene. This is carbon 1, now this is carbon 2, this is carbon 3. So we have seen the pi bond is present between carbon 1 and carbon 2. At the carbon 1 there is 2 hydrogen atoms, and at the carbon 2 there are 2 methyl groups. So it is unsymmetrical. Now the pi bond between carbon 1 and carbon 2 is attracted towards the positive part of HCl. That means hydrogen is added to the pi bond to the any one of the carbon atom, carbon 1 or carbon 2, through the pi bond. Now if the hydrogen atom is added at the carbon 1, then positive charge will occur at the carbon 2, and we get tertiary butyl carbocation. So in the similarly, if hydrogen atom is added at the carbon 2, and positive charge will occur at the carbon 1, and we get isobutyl carbocation. So our formation of carbocation is completed, but we have we got two carbocations, tertiary and primary, but between these two carbocations only the tertiary carbocation is more stable. So this addition of the nucleophile to the tertiary carbocation will be more favorable. Now let's see what happens when chloride is added. You see, positive charge is present in the tertiary carbocation, positive charge is present at the carbon 2, so chloride will be attracted to the carbon 2, and CCl carbon chlorine bond is formed at the carbon 2, and we get the product 2-chloro-2-methylpropane. But what happens if chloride is added in the primary carbocation? Let's see. So this primary carbocation, positive charge is present at carbon 1, so the chloride ion will be attracted to carbon 1, and it is bonded to carbon 1 and form a bond with the carbon 1, and we get the product 1-chloro-2-methylpropane. But this will not form as the primary carbocation is least stable among primary, secondary and the tertiary carbocations, so this reaction will not take place. Now this selective reaction of the production of alkyl halide from alkene by addition of hydrogen halide to unsymmetrical alkene is called the Markovnikov rule. So according to this Markovnikov rule, what happens, an unsymmetrical alkene like 2-methylpropene, when added to hydrogen chloride, then 2-chloro-2-methylpropane product is formed, where the negative part of HCl, that means chlorine, is added to that carbon atom which contain less number of hydrogen atoms. This is the Markovnikov rule, and according to this rule we will get the product. Now see the statement, when an unsymmetrical alkene is added to hydrogen halide, then negative part of hydrogen halide will go to that carbon atom which contain less number of hydrogen atoms. Now addition of halogen to alkene. Here I have taken ethene molecule, and this is the bromine molecule. in presence of carbon tetrachloride, the reaction will take place. This is carbon 1 and this is carbon 2 of ethene molecule, and the bromine will added to this pi bond, and one bromine will go to carbon 1, other bromine will go to carbon 2, and we will get 1,2-dibromoethane molecule, which is colorless. Now see the mechanism of this reaction. What happens here? The pi bond is present between carbon 1 and carbon 2. This pi bond will polarize the bromine molecule. That means this pi bond will attack the bromine molecule, and one bromine atom become positively charged, and other bromine atom will be, this bromine becomes positively charged, which will be attacked at the carbon 2, and the other carbon atom become positively charged of the alkene. So now this positively charged carbon will be at the position carbon 1, and other bromine atom of the bromine molecule become negatively charged, and this negatively charged bromide ion will act as the nucleophile, and it will attack the positively charged carbon atom, and we get the bromine molecule bonded to carbon 1 and other bromine atom to carbon 2, and we get the molecule 1,2-dibromoethane. Now again, you see, I will repeat this mechanism. When this bromine molecule is added to ethene molecule, there will be pi electron attack to the bromine molecule, and the bromine molecule become polarized, and one bromine atom becomes negatively charged and other bromine atom becomes positively charged, and the one bromine atom will go to carbon 1, which contain positively charged, and other bromine will go to the carbon 2, which becomes carbon 2, and we get the product 1,2-dibromoethane. Thank you for today. In the next lecture I will continue this same topic. Till then, bye bye.